Namaste. Welcome to the Hindu Parenting Podcast. In today's episode, we will be talking about the importance of physical strength training. How many of us know that Hindus were known for physical prowess, strength, and wrestling skills? There are exercises known in the West as the Hindu exercises. Anyone can Google the Hindu squat and find articles and videos. It is a pity that what the world knows as the Hindu strength training routine is known to so few of us today. We have lost the physical culture, and those of us who are into fitness are likely to join modern gyms today. Let's talk to two young men who are on a mission to revive the Bharatiya physical arts, Abhinav and Krishna. Namaste and welcome to our podcast. Please tell us a little about your venture, the Temple of Strength.
Namaste. Thank you for inviting us to join this interesting initiative. I hear a lot about Hindu parenting these days. I'm sure that all that success is attributed to the efforts that are being put in by the humble founders of this initiative. So thank you for inviting us for this. So I'll just very briefly explain what really happened and how we were inspired to do this. Both of us had a background in some kind of physical practice. So Krishna here, he has a background in traditional martial arts. So he has dedicated his life for martial arts ever since he was in his post-college days. He's been somehow putting more time towards it. Of course, he was doing a lot of martial arts before, but he had more time only after his college days. And in my case, I was giving a lot of time for yoga during my college days and post my college days. But we never met when we were in college. We studied in the same institution called Kshaatra University. But then later, by chance, earlier this year, or perhaps towards the end of last year, Krishna and I met online and we decided to meet up and have a chat at a restaurant. And when we met and we started speaking, we realized that both of us had similar goals in life. That is to make people more aware of taking care of themselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, at all levels. And we realized that we both had a lot of interest in taking care of the physical body so that we can all execute our everyday responsibilities with more care and with more efficiency. And that's how it began. And slowly we started working together and we started designing courses. And we had two summer camps. One was a residential summer camp at Hyderabad for children of one specific Veda Shastra institution. And another one was at another Yajurveda Gurukulam at a place which is close to Ujjain. Post that, we've had a few other programs as well. Of course, we'll talk about it soon. And this is how it began. And I think over to Krishna, he will be able to explain a little bit more.
Yeah, Temple of Strength, not many equate strength with anything that is Indian. People always think fitness is about going to gym and all that, and we can't blame them. That is how it is marketed, advertised, or pushed into. And it is something rare that what Indian culture offers is totally of value, and it has been an integral part of our ancestral lifestyle. So any culture has always had a link with strength, be it Chinese. We see a lot of scriptures in Chinese, Japanese. Shamans have a lot of strength training in them. Icelanders, a lot of people. So our native strength training methods are really good because it comes from this region. It is as simple as that. You stay local, you stay native, you'll stay healthy. So this is the narrative we want to bring about, educate the world about, probably create more content on it, and let's make people stronger.
It's a wonderful initiative. Krishnaji, I think it would be good if you can also, from your experience as a father yourself, talk about how strength training is relevant and important for parents.
Yeah, I'll talk about men and women separately. People always think that when a guy becomes a father, no, I became a father when I was 23. So I was expected to put all the 23 years of wisdom into raising a child, and it is normally more pressure. So anyone, be it a lady or the man, commonly people are always expected and put in a place of stress and anxiety to raise a kid. And what happens is we normally push things that we were not able to do and wanting them to do. What we do is destroying the intelligence of the kid. That is, it is natural and it happens, and that is a pattern. When we put our expectations over some children which is very small, the kid is now growing, it is a budding flower. What happens is it develops a kind of resistance, and what it sees is what it simply imitates. Children are that, they simply imitate. And when parents do things that are healthy, children simply follow. If a father is exercising, I exercise today because my father someday put me up to exercising at 5:30 in the morning. I am exercising because it's a habit for me. Why can't parents make that as a habit to their children? Exercising not only stops diseases, it also builds a very good rigid mindset, and which is a boon today because we are facing mental health challenges like never before. And what I learned from children is there is a lot of activities that adults are not able to do in terms of physical body that children can do. They have excellent flexibility. They always have energy. I'm sure a lot of parents can relate to it. You lose your energy when you spend time with children, right? So you feel exhausted. You tell it out, you can't tell it out because you are a parent. It becomes your common state of, common state of being, that you can't tell it out that you're exhausted. Your parents will be like, I have raised 35 children. Your grandparents will be like, I have raised 1 million. So you can't tell that out also. But how do you prepare yourself to be a very active parent? Is you train. It is simple. There was a video that went viral. I think it's from Russia. A grandfather trying to, lift his granddaughter. He trains with kettlebells on a daily basis. Have you seen that video?
No.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So there is a birthday coming up of that granddaughter. He wants to lift her and then let her tie the star in the tree or something. It is Christmas or it's her birthday, I'm not sure. So he trains with kettlebells for 2 weeks so that he'll be able to lift his granddaughter. So parenting requires effort from the parent, equally in terms of physicality as well, because only a strong parent can create a strong child. So people always think that strong means it's only the physicality, being big, muscular, and all that. Endurance is totally different thing, and bodybuilding has got nothing to do with endurance. Actually, bodybuilders are less less endurance filled in their body, and they're not that. Their stamina levels are really low. This is fact. Not many will tell this out, but this is fact. When it comes to parenting, right from waking up in the morning, sending them to school, receiving them while they are back from school, you see that they will always be active. It is only the parents who drain their energies out. Am I right? Have you experienced this?
Yeah.
Totally. I
I'm sure
think
with
listeners
yes,
will
with
relate very
yeah,
well.
when it comes to women, it is more, you can feel it more because women do a lot of chores in the home also. You have got to maintain the family, you have got to maintain the kitchen, you have got to maintain the finances. A lot of women do that. And women are not taking training seriously because they think all this is work. Ghar ka kaam karna, it's not work. Even if it is considered as a physical activity, for a manual labor, for someone who is lifting weights on a daily basis, strength training is a separate culture. So, strength training strongmen tell that anyone who is lifting weights on a daily basis as an occupation, they have to train at least for 25 minutes. So, now we are doing a sedentary lifestyle thing where we sit for a longer time. So, how many hours should we be training? We can simply equate it. Your body is under constant stress, not even pumping blood properly. You don't receive blood circulation is not right because you're sitting for a long time. 2 hours of sitting is 4 cigarettes. So all this is getting dangerous. And it is now that people have to at least stand up. I see a lot of streams of exercises asking people to sit down in the chair and do workout. They're simply making you weak. It is as simple as that. And parents, there are a separate set of diseases that are coming up if you're sitting. So you need to be moving along with the kids. So one simple thing that can make you get started is start walking with your kids, start cycling with your kids. Simply talk. And a lot of interesting things are happening in their world. Kids' world is getting interesting now, and we need to stay aware of what is happening in their world as well. I started doing this, and I am feeling much more lighter when I go to sleep. So this is one quick hack from me. Probably you can take it that way.
What about the methods that are actually used, in the sense, what are the Indian or the Bharatiya training methods that are being used by you, and that are different from what the gyms use?
Yeah. Firstly, we don't give you weights in the first day itself. Weights are always a superset sort of a thing. First, you need to lift your body yourself. If you're not able to do push-ups, lifting your body, there is no use in doing a dumbbell or any traditional weight. Firstly, we need to work on your mobility, strengthen your joints first, and then go into flexibility, and then we do strengthening. Later comes endurance. So endurance training is trained on the objective of stamina, not aesthetics. Gym training does for aesthetics. So the principle involved here is, with gym training, it is only isolation of your target muscle groups wherein you increase the size. So increasing your muscle size will not give you stamina. It will only give you aesthetics. And this done over a period of time. It can only be done until your dominant hormone is there to an optimum level. If 45 years, once you reach 40 to 45, have you seen any bodybuilder competing after 45? They retire at 32 itself, because the results won't be there. And what is considered as fitness in the mainstream media is not fitness in the first place. Bodybuilding is a sport where they inject 5 ml or 10 ml of steroids or any injections before the day of the competition. They inject themselves to not perspire. They don't want to sweat for the next 2 days. They stay dehydrated to show you the abs. If they are not dehydrated, you can't see the abs. There will be zero shredding there. So all this behind the screen stories, people don't know.
Krishna ji, can you tell us a little bit about the specific methods and equipment used in Bharatiya strength training?
What were people doing before gyms came into the picture? That is exactly what Bharatiya fitness is all about. It is derived from ancient Kshatriyatva, how warriors used to train. Traditional Indian equipments like mugdar, samtola, garnal, and gadaa, all these traditional equipments, which were supposedly they were weapons, which turned into equipments in the recent times, and all the conditioning exercises that were part of the Kshatriya routine. This is what we do in Temple of Strength. And majorly, it is very methodical and also does not harm the body. The goal here is to condition the body and make sure you optimize its performance. Like how an athlete trains, we train to condition the body and make it stronger, both from the outside perspective and also from the inside perspective. Your organs are stronger, your muscles are stronger, your nervous capacity to withstand any shock, your capacity to fight with adrenaline, all this is conditioned with traditional martial arts. And the Indian physical culture also has a very similar approach because it is derived from martial arts. The approach is similar, and it is only that martial arts as an extension has few other exercises like drills and punches, kicks, and routines and all that. So we stop only with the physical culture part.
So what is this mugdar training? What exactly is that?
So mugdar is one of the ancient equipments. If you see the photos of yakshas from Jains and even Baglamukhi Devi, a lot of Dwarapalas, all these devatas have mugdar in their hands. It is one of the ancient equipments that was used in wars, and a lot of mentions in our scriptures is also there, how Bhutaganas used this and how people were using this to train with. Mugdar is essentially a grip-based equipment where you train in rotational strength. When you train with rotational strength, naturally your nervous integrity is high, your muscle fibers are intact, and Mugdar is totally beneficial than any other weights because it is swinging. So the main difference between lifting and swinging is, for example, you are someone who is lifting a 10 kg dumbbell. For you to lift a 10 kg mugdar will be hard. The maximum you can do is lift a 5 kg mugdar, and swinging it also will be hard. Mugdar is predominantly training for swords also. So before going into sword training, mugdar training was given. And this equipment's history is totally separate. We can talk for hours with this. It has got that much significance in our history. I can tell you a few surprising things. English people learnt about mugdar. They made it compulsory for their soldiers to train in until World War II. A lot of Americans, even today, Navy SEAL people, a lot of people train in mugdars today. And throughout the world, it is being practiced. A lot of people are now picking up with mudras. So if you
Okay.
learn from a proper person, you will not end up with injury. That is the key thing with mugdar. A lot of people are now watching online videos, which is dangerous. And I have trained a lot of people who come with injury. So to take out that injury, it will take 1 week. To condition them, it will take another 2 weeks. So this is how the people are now watching videos online and practicing. That is another dangerous habit, and I think people should simply refrain from it.
Yeah, no, what you say is
Traditionally,
really
you are
interesting.
training to improve your health. Yeah, thank you.
How
I
do
want
you do
to ask.
traditional strength training, in contrast to this?
Traditional
What you're saying?
training, yes, traditional training, first you understand your body type, which type of prakriti your body is. How can we adjust your lifestyle? You have to bring training as a habit into your routine so that you stay consistent. Normally, if you see, there are only 0.2% of people in India subscribe to gyms. It is statistics. 0.2%. Out of that, if 100 people are entering into a gym, only 2 people will become bodybuilders out of that. So when this is the case, why are these people running there? Because they have marketed this as their go-to method of fitness, but it is not true. Fitness can be done in different ways, and a lot of myths are surrounding this industry. I used to go to gym when I was in my 12th grade. I learned traditional techniques once I completed my college, and then I was like, the side effects, I had to endure those side effects to get out of that also. Your body is pushed into a state of shock every time you do high weight training, gymming. So that shock has to come out. And for your body to be normal, traditionally fit, no, it will be conditioned. It will not be tight, aesthetic and all that. It will be conditioned. And the key difference is the philosophy behind it. Traditional strength training comes with your culture. You get into an akada, you respect Hanumanji, you are treated as son of Hanuman. You are not treated as son of X and Y. You are treated as son of Hanuman. Your Guruji will give you the diet which will work only for you. Guruji will give you those exercises that will go well for your body. Certain exercises your body is not apt for those weights or those exercises. You will be stopped right at that point. There is no pushing yourself. There is no watching motivation videos and pumping. That is not there. You simply work on yourself, you stay strong, you stay happy. This is why we do traditional strength training. We want to be happy. This is our goal. This is what my akada taught me. हमारा akada में यही बोलते हैं, मस्त रहो. So we want to spread this as a philosophy where people train to be happy and stress free. And gym training comes with a lot of stress also, G. So you pay for 6 months, no. People expect six packs in 6 months, which is unimaginable. It can't happen. As I told you, dehydration is the cause of being shredded. You don't drink water. What is happening to your nerves? What is happening to your body as a system? Even though you build your body aesthetically, the shock it receives as a combined unit is totally different. And every exercise that is done has a recorded side effect also. With traditional training, the methods are we use rotational strength when it comes to weights, and we don't do there is only compound exercises done. So compound exercises means exercises that target more than one muscle group. In traditional fitness, every exercise is a compound exercise only. There is no isolated exercise, and it directly trains for your stamina. For example, you do Dandan Baitak alone on a repeated basis, different varieties of Dandan Baitak alone. You can stay strong forever. It is simply that you have to train on a daily basis with the right people. And there is community backing. You train with people, no? You do traditional strength training in Akada setup or from your home. We are trying to do it at the comfort of our home. You train in a community setup. You chant, And there is the holistic approach that comes with traditional training. Holistic means you divide it into a quadrant, a circle into a quadrant: body, mind, emotion, and spirit. So all this is addressed. So you're not seen, you go to a gym only to build your body, but you go to Akada or you go to traditional strength training to build your mind, to focus more on yourself as a spirit, and also get a hold of your emotions. And all this is possible only when there is a strong philosophy behind your training methods. That lacks with the gym culture.
Okay. So you're saying this is personalized and also holistic. Abhinavji, I think
Definitely.
your background is also in yoga, right? Yogasanas and all forms of yoga. Now, yoga
Yes.
is very holistic, and it also addresses the body, mind, and emotions together. Would you like to talk a little bit about your role in bringing yoga to the temple of strength?
Yes. So when we think about yoga, the modern physical addiction, or rather the addiction with the physique these days, has made yoga only that which you do by contorting the body on the mat. Unfortunately, this was originally taken from India, from Bharat, to the West, and again the West repackaged it and gave it back to us, and we are lapping it up as if this is the best thing that can happen to us in the entire history of Bharat. The thing is, there is a need to understand that there is a lot to what yoga talks about than what is related to the body. So if you, I mean, of course, if you go to the Yoga Sutras of Maharishi Patanjali, he talks about the 8 rungs on the ladder to the ultimate goal of yoga, which is Kaivalya. So Kaivalya is equivalent to moksha, mukti. Different people have different definitions for this. But when you look at yoga, there are 8 rungs to that ladder, and the first rung and the second rung are related to personal and social discipline. Only the third step there is asana, and the fourth step is pranayama. Most people are obsessed with only the third step, and only after going towards pranayama can you go towards the other next 4 steps, which are related to meditation. So when it comes to the traditional health and fitness methods, we always had some kind of a connection, a relationship with meditative practices. After going towards the asana practice, people are expected to move more deeper into pranayama practices, eventually move towards meditative practices. In the same way, in traditional strength training practices also, you will notice that the movement is not isolated. It is always connected with the breath. So every practice will be associated with inhalation, exhalation, or holding the breath. Just like in yoga practice, we will have so many different breath-related movements in traditional health and fitness methods. So when it comes to looking at this from the perspective of all these different steps in yoga, my approach, or rather the way I would be contributing in this initiative, would be in the context of looking at the goals beyond the body, goals beyond the physique. So it is more to do with the philosophy, more to do with the practice of meditative practices, more to do with approach to life, more to more towards the spirituality aspect, the adhyatmika part. So when
Okay.
you look I mean, if you look at the traditional perspective of what adhyatmika means, in the Sankhya and Yoga Shastra, adhyatmika refers to both the body and the mind, shariraka and manasika. This is what they are saying. And when you talk about yoga practices or the physical strength training practices, we restrict it all towards the sharirika part, and we seldom move towards the manasika part. So my background in yoga, my background in bioengineering, my medical nanotechnology background, all of these bring into the picture that aspect, that is the Shariraka part. And because I have worked with cognitive neurosciences, animal behavior, Indian psychology, all of this takes me towards the Manasika part as well. So
Okay.
towards that purpose, for the past few years, I have actually been working on developing new models and developing or rather reviving a lot of techniques, studying old texts, ancient texts, and trying to resurrect them. So I'm in that process. So this is what I bring to the table.
So, Abhinav,
Great.
you have talked about the traditional historical aspects. What do you think has led to the decline in this, pursuit of fitness or physical culture or holistic fitness among Hindus? Probably, it's only because maybe this yoga day has become a big thing these days. We know a little bit about how yoga was. I think even 10 years back, I don't think Indians really cared much about yoga itself, So, why do you think and this has happened, and when did this decline start?
I can give you a little bit of a perspective based on yoga, but I think Krishna can give you more information related to the physical culture part. But anyway, I'll give you a general introduction and then he'll take over. Firstly, due to the intellectual colonization, both during the invasions or rather colonizations, which began with the Middle East and also went up to Europe, you will notice that people have slowly come to a point where they are more focused on survival rather than prospering effectively. So what has happened is because of these centuries of colonization, we've reached a point where we think that a person is happy and satisfied only when they have a stable job, whatever that means, because no job is stable. Having food every day, having rich food every day, that is, and then having a big house. Now, whatever is considered to be the Anglo-American dream has now come to Bharat also, and now it is considered to be a very stable life or a settled life. And because of this, people have slowly given up on the approach towards having a stable, balanced lifestyle. So people no longer look at the physical, emotional, intellectual health anymore. They are more focused on economic health alone. But they forget that the more time you spend on uh, earning money and not on having good physical strength and mental strength, the more money you are going to spend towards the later part of your life for the sake of medical treatments. So this they don't understand. It's all like a zero-sum game. The more money you make and the less amount of physical and mental health you have, the more in the future you are going to spend for hospital bills. So that is a definite given thing. So the second thing I want to talk about is yoga itself. In the past, everybody was a practitioner of yoga in some form. So everybody was practicing asanas. If you go to traditional or rather any village today, if you go to them and ask, did your grandfather do yoga? They'll say, yes, my grandfather or a grandmother was a practitioner of certain asanas, certain postures. So they had something uh, which is very unique to them. So they would have practices.
Why go that far? Even my father used to
Yes.
diligently do Surya Namaskar every day, but we never picked it up. He never told us to. We never picked it up either, It's only in the last, few years that we are again coming back to it. But I know that he used to do it. He used to do it every day.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we have been emphasizing. We simply want to bring back the health your grandfather had, nothing else.
Krishna ji, I was wondering if this kind of training was imparted in ancient times. Were there special schools or was it part of a temple, Gurukula? Where was this done? How did people learn? And so, that might give us a clue into how we
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
all this.
definitely. I'll skip to that latter part once I complete the answer to the first question. So this was physical culture was methodically it was taken away from us. So what British did was they understood Indians were strong. So there are records of this. When British writers were passing across Indian fields, they saw people training with in traditional practices
Mm.
like Malkam, Mugdar, and all that. They saw these men were strong. So that is when they recorded and they recruited a lot of Indian soldiers for them to fight. And once they understood how strong these people were, they started massacring martial artists. A lot of martial artists' thumbs were cut so that they don't teach to their students. So this was done methodically. Our physical culture was taken away from us. Mugdar training was compulsory in World War II times for British soldiers. Even now today, a lot of marine people follow Mugdar training. Indians don't do much, foreigners do now. So this is how our culture left us, and it was methodically done. And Indians always, I think, we are now at a state where, as Abhinavji put it properly, American dream to hamara ban raha hai. And this is this mogue towards something that is white, no? And this you don't do anything that is not native to you, no? You are moving away from health. To be exact, you're moving away from strength. You live in a tropical region, you do gym exercises, you stay dehydrated. How you will end up is with cardiac arrest, nothing else. This is simply an equation, and it is about being smart. A culture is simply nothing but set of habits. No, you kill a martial artist, nobody he has got to train now, and then it is done over a period of time. What happens? Simply moves. A few people they had so much grit in them that they retain their practices. Sikhs retain. Tamil Nadu people they took the martial art into sugarcane farms. They trained with sugar canes. They converted into art form, and that is how Silambam is surviving today. If not for those smart people, it wouldn't have survived today. And few people took wrestling into their farms. They trained inside their own agriculture farms. So that is why Kusti is still alive today. So we'll have to thank those gentlemen. And I see what me and Abhinav Bhaiya are doing with Temple of Strength is simply a thank you to them, just trying to take what these gentlemen did, at least to a minuscule level, where we spread awareness to people in IT jobs, at least telling them just take care of your health. That's it.
Basically, Krishnaji, can you tell us a little bit about the traditional martial arts and why you're not adopting them in your programs?
Okay, traditional martial arts. One is I'll give a bit of background about myself. I am a certified Silambam trainer. I learned Kalaripayattu, and then I went to Varanasi to learn Kusti. So I learned in Tulsi Akada, where I'm established by Tulsidas himself. So I take pride in that. So I learned in orthodox methods, which requires hand holding physically. So online way we can do fitness. Fitness is very much possible. Teaching martial arts online will not be complete because you need to watch them. You need to train in a way that I need to get hit by the person I'm training. That is when I'll be happy that they are training properly. That is when it is complete also. This is how traditionally it is done. So we do the conditioning part, but martial arts training, I have only a couple of people, a couple of close friends whom I know, because physical training is only possible with martial arts. And anyone who is training martial arts online, I don't think traditional martial arts can work that way, because the levels in which we do, it requires strenuous training. And with physical culture, it is more easier to adapt to this online model. So I think it is more beneficial because martial arts journey is a bit ahead of physical culture. To stay as a martial artist, your basic requirement becomes fitness. And now people, you can't ask them to try martial arts because they're not even fit in the first place. So martial arts journey is a bit far ahead. You need at least 6 months of physical training to get there.
Do you have any plans to start that too? If parents are interested
Yes, we get a physical space, we get enough people, I can teach them anytime. So the camps we do for children, there we teach martial arts. There we have more time and more space, and also we get to see people in action. That is what is main. And when I see someone exercising, that is when the martial art exercises, they are linked with the nervous system. And you have to see when someone is performing, you need that personal touch. I'll have to hold them when they are blocking. I'll have to stop them when they are punching, and all this is required. If we get a space, we get the enough opportunities given to us, definitely we'll do it.
Yeah, I was wondering where this training was imparted in ancient times.
Yeah.
Were they special schools, or it
Ancient
was
days,
part of the
this
temple
is
culture?
Yeah, it was in schools. Over a period of time, it was different. G. When Buddhists were dominant, it used to happen in temples. That is why if you see Muay Thai in Thailand, it still happens in temples. It was essentially Indian. Muay Thai Thailand people were from Tamil Nadu. So these people are from the city of Kanchipuram only. They train even today, underground temples may they train. This was part of anyone's curriculum. Kshatriyatva was not away from, like as it is projected. Kshatriyatva is not only deserved for one particular caste or one particular clan. It was part of everyone's living. And any Gurukul, they used to train, like how you read in Mahabharata stories, no? Training was always the integral part. And without grit or valor, there is nothing to live, no? It was philosophy of Indians. You train hard, and bala-sadhana is what we call this. Bala-sadhana was there with even the gods whom we see today, no? They all have these equipments we train with only in their hands. Balarama has a gada, Duryodhana has a gada, Arjun has a kandiva. So all this, it is part of our culture, and we can't simply put them in a frame and move them away from us and tell that these are gods, these are their equipments, only they have it knowledge. No, they were part of this culture. Whoever is having a gada in their hand, it means they come from the gada. Vishnu has a gada. They came from a wrestling background. It is simple as that. So we'll have to connect the dots to understand Hindu culture fully. I genuinely believe you have to start connecting these dots.
Yeah. This ties in so beautifully with the spirit of kshaatra that we had alluded to in the previous podcast, especially when we were discussing Rama of the Axe, if you remember, Shalini.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Parachurama podcast. So we had talked about the disappearance of kshaatra and the need to revive it. And I see that you two are taking excellent steps in this journey that we all need to be aware of and take together.
Thank you so much. Yes, we would love to revive the Kshaatra spirit. Let's do it.
Yes. You also do online training. How does that work?
Consists of beginner exercises. We pack it for 6 months as a course, and it is essentially about getting the people out of the chair and making them see visible changes in their lifestyle. The ones we are training now, they see visible changes. We do something called I would put it as biohacking, because the term is now catching up. Biohacking is simply making lifestyle changes so that you're trained to optimize your performance. So you are an IT employee, you're sitting for 6 to 8 hours. We give you a set of rules. We give you a set of probably on a day-to-day curriculum that you follow that is focused on improving your performance. You train in the morning. We train only 3 days in a week. The methodology is called HIT. We train only 3 days in a week, and the rest you will be given a reposing guide, which you follow, your diet, and then what all you need to do, how much water you need to drink, what are the fruits that go well for your body's prakriti, what are the things that you should not eat, what are the food items that are allergic to you. All this will be discussed. You will have a chart to follow, and this makes lives more easier, because I always believe that you live for only today. You train consistently. That is when you get into the habit of becoming strong. So we will always think fitness is a done thing, like gym vagera. You build a six pack, you forget it, and then you become fat. No, that is not how you are supposed to live. This is called sadhana. Sadhana is a daily thing. You need to exercise daily. You need to eat healthy daily. You are happy, and there is no things that is funny like cheat meal, or there is no leg session. There is no shoulder session alone. All this is funny. Your body is one whole system. You exercise only your legs. What is happening to the blood supply? It is going to the brain. Why would you do that? It is simply for someone living in a tropic region, doing this sort of a thing is not advised. In our system, once you're in traditional fitness, once your body is heated, no, your exercise should be done. If you're cooling your body down, there are separate set of diseases that will come. If you rapidly increase the body heat and reduce it, no, your body catches kapha at that time, which is not good. This pitta kapha combo is not good at all. So certain rules, it is a lifestyle change totally. So maybe people might find it confusing, because this is a totally different lifestyle that we are talking about. So imagine what were people doing before gyms came into the picture. People were training. It is not that people were sitting down. Yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking. So is this applicable for people living abroad? I mean, we are talking about
Yeah,
Indians
definitely.
living in India, but how would you adapt it? Say somebody abroad approaches you and wants to take online training. Is that going to be possible? And
Yeah.
is it something that would, suit the conditions there?
Yes, G, we do online training for few NRI people. I think we have 3 on board. So how
Okay.
this works is it's simply staying close to nature anywhere you are. You need to eat seasonal. You need to train according to how the weather condition is there, prevailing there, and make moderate diet changes. And the philosophy is Indian, but this is universal. There were wrestlers who trained in abroad even those days also. There was trade exchange happening between India and Greece even during Mahabharata times. A lot of things have happened. So when you go there, the exercises are going to be the same, but the diet and lifestyle part that will be properly optimized based on the region you're living in.
I know
Any
that.
one of
Yeah.
you can go ahead and answer this. Can you just lay out for us, if someone comes to you, how do you
Hmm.
take them through a course of Temple of Strength? What are the steps?
Firstly, I'll ask them to fill an application form where we
Mhm.
ask about their previous experience and anything that is related to physical activities. And then I get on a call with them, understanding what their injuries have been, how their lifestyle is, how active they are, will they be able to continue with the classes, how intense they should train, what is their diet. So understanding their pain points makes a lot of, because they are coming in because they want a change and they want to attain balance in their lifestyle, and I make sure that I listen to them properly. So that is the first step. Once we listen to them, we make the changes where we understand their prakriti first. So that is key. Understanding your prakriti is key. And
Mhm.
once their prakriti is found out, we understand their habits, their DNA better. So what kind of food you eat, what kind of habits you have, how long you sleep, what is your goal, what do you need to achieve with this training. Once you are done achieving this, what will you be doing? We have all the set of questionnaires, and once they filled in these questionnaires, we get on a call with them, we understand their requirements, we make the changes in their diet, and what are there are few frameworks that can be put into place. So I am a big fan of creating habits, new habits. So how to put it, for someone, I'll give you a real life example. We had someone who came in with very bad back pain,
Okay.
and what I had to do was I asked him to come to the class regularly, and then we changed his diet. Then we asked him to look for his postural changes, how long he is sitting, and we gave him few frameworks to follow. And 21 days after 21 classes, his back pain was no more. Now he
Okay.
is continuing with the classes. He is doing our evening batch now. He is from Singapore and he is enjoying this session. He is simply telling that I don't want to go to gym. I want to continue with this sort of classes, and he is getting muscular also. And all this because he was consistent with the routine that we gave him, and it worked really well. And this traditional fitness works really well because it does not put strain on your mind or your body. It is simply that you get into your mindset of becoming a sadhaka. Once you understand your training better, you're also understanding yourself better. It is end of the day your priority, right? Growth should be individualistic, and it should be the only reason you train also. I believe in that. You don't see progress, you shouldn't train. Be it with any method. If you join my class, you don't see any progress, I would kindly say, please, this is not working for you. And there is no one-stop solution for anything and everything. The way it is perceived is people always think that I did this, I expect this, I want it, and it is adding pressure. And we give mental health a lot of importance. How much ever you exercise, how much ever you push yourself, if your mental health is not good, you have chronic stress, progress will be 0%. There will not be progress at all because your body is end of the day what your mind is commanding you to be. It is that important. And this approach is not taken seriously, probably, with the other system. You're always asked to push. You're always asked to do something that is totally against who you are as a person, because it is that is a template that was done by someone else. If you take bodybuilding, for example, there is an exercise called Arnold press. Before Arnold, thousands of bodybuilders did it. Why was it called Arnold press? Because there was a documentary that came out that became viral called Pumping Iron. So everything is templated. So there is no unique personalization that is happening in traditional fitness. How it happens is, when it comes to equipments, people are limited in using equipments. We don't believe in using a multitude of equipments. Where you go, you have 20, 25 equipments. No, you do one or two maximum. If you go to Varanasi, or if you go to any traditional Akada place, there will be two types of Pahlwans who will only wrestle and do body weight, and the rest will be simply people who exercise. You know who will be the stronger one?
The
Any
ones
guesses?
exercising. The ones
No,
exercising
the
every
ones
day.
who wrestle.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, the ones who wrestle every day.
Okay.
They lift you like a feather and drop you like a hat, just like that. So
Correct.
I belong to that category of Pahlwan. Now that I don't have an Akada around, I'm training in this method.
Okay.
So why I'm telling you this is, it is a matter of practice, and you need to take it into your spiritual perspective also. You need to stay in harmony. No, I don't like this modern days, even the content. Yeah, how can you stay motivated 24/7? You watch a video, you become motivated. How does that work? You watch a video, you'll be tempted to watch another video only. I don't understand that at all in the first place, and it seems very foreign to me. And ये दूसरा कोई कर रहा है, उसको देख के हमें करना है. It does not work that way. When will you learn it? When will you learn about your body? As a parent, once you learn about your body, you will see how your DNA is reacting when it is coming to your child. It is simply a replica of you, no? You understand the set of diseases that is running in your family. For example, PCOD, PCOS is becoming huge now. 1 out of 5 women is having it. I understand my family's background in this set of diseases. I can stop that from hitting my daughters. It is as simple as that. To take the
So,
responsibility, or sorry.
no, you were mentioning this, parent-child, whatever, transmission, setting an example, and also starting. So
Yes.
how young can people start? What is the minimum age to start training?
I would say at least 8, because milk bones stop that stage after only 8. So your bones are really brittle. Children's bones they get strengthened only after 8. Before 8, I think you let the kid be, no, it has enough movement. It has
Yes.
enough movement for us to keep running also. You can keep running behind the child. But before doing that, I would recommend people who have not trained at all, you start with that, they'll get exhausted. You can have a preliminary training of some sort. Probably basic traditional exercises will really help. Few yogasanas will really help. And that state where you become active, no, it is a journey. From point A to point B is a journey that has to be taken on a daily basis, or at least 3 days a week. This method works fantastically for me. So I train only when I take classes. I don't train separately. So that is really good, because that system of exercises are working really well for me also. I have not gained weight in the past 3 months. So I reduced 5 kgs just by making few dietary changes. Last month to this month, I'm now 5 kgs down. So this method is really working really good. And I'm confident that I can bring results. We can bring results for anyone who is coming into the system.
Tell us a little bit about the diet part. I mean, you've spoken a lot about the diet. What exactly do you incorporate in dietary changes?
Okay, firstly, diet. We always don't push people against eating what they like. So that is first thing. The next thing is, once we understand your prakriti, for example, you are a pitta person, certain foods will agitate you, will cause inflammation in your body. You eat more of tamarind filled food. You eat more of sour food, like too much of lemon rice, too much of spice, too much of chili seeds in your diet. No, this will agitate your intestine. So what do you eat to avoid this? So how do you subside this agitating effect? Bloating is now common among people. Acidity is common. So how do you stop this? And pitta, it goes with your lifestyle very much. If you are a pitta body person, you should not leave your stomach empty for more than 3 hours. So all this, every prakriti comes with their own set of rules. And it is not just one prakriti that will be dominant. There are two prakritis will be dominant, and it has to be a balance. So if you are a pitta person, you should balance your vata and your kapha. So how do you do this? And once we understand this, once we understand your habit, we'll understand for women, since you're a lady, for women, common issues that cause most problem is inflammation and then not having a detoxed body. So if once your body is detoxed and your inflammation levels are really low, a lot of issues will go away. Pain in your joints, and the way women sleep also. Sleep, a lot of women say that their sleep is getting affected. Now there is a case study I recently read where nutritional osteoporosis is steeply rising. So all this, a lot of people suffering from arthritis, sitting for a long time on a daily basis, 6 to 8 hours, there is no chance for your body to pump the blood back. So where does it get settled? On your knees. So what is the side effect now? Arthritis. You don't move your body parts enough. Every joint needs basic movement on a daily basis. It needs strengthening on a daily basis. So diet should go hand in hand with your training, and the diet we prescribe to you goes well with strength training. So it will have to be personalized. You give me the input of what you have on a daily basis. We will understand this is the case you have, what is causing what, and this is a 20 minutes call, and it can't be generalized.
Is non-vegetarian food part of traditional diet for
Yeah, it's
strength
your
training?
option, G. Okay,
Okay,
I'll be
so there is
frank. There
no,
is nothing called vegetarian, non-vegetarian.
huh?
So I go by Siddha philosophy. I go by Siddha philosophy. There is nothing called vegetarian, non-vegetarian. So it is
Okay.
simply life. So you eat in a banana leaf, you are killing thousands of microbes in one moment. That is also life. It is simply a choice of not eating meat. Yes, there will be changes. If you are eating meat, you will be given the changes. So
So
if you
basically,
have
I
meat,
was trying to understand whether meat is also part of traditional strength training
yeah. Kshatriyas used to,
regimens.
Kshatriyas lifestyle, there is a rule of eating meat also. Kshatriya lifestyle,
Yeah,
yes. There are
yeah,
stories, no? About Pandavas, Pancha Pandavas eating meat also.
yeah, that's true.
It is based on the guna that you're trying to achieve. Ji. You want more sattva, you stay vegetarian, you stay more vegan and all that. You want the rajas, you can go for it. I think Anna can
So
explain better.
Yeah,
we
Abhinav,
have to
come in on this.
understand that there is this misconception that if you want to be spiritual, you should be a complete vegetarian, or sometimes only subsist on dairy products, or maybe subsist only on certain grains, or eat only so much. So it is not so. You see, Bharat is a very strange case when you take up the context of civilizational habits. We have a unique agglomeration of several diverse traditions all coming together in the same time. So when you look at the culinary aspect of the civilization, we see that no two diets are the same when you compare the different geographical locations, when you compare the altitudes, when you compare the time, when you compare the generations, when you compare the sampradayas themselves. For example, people can be in the same sampradaya, but because they are at different parts of the same mountain, they may have a different culinary habit. Maybe they are from the same sampradaya, but they live in different places really far away. So they have different habits. So we can definitely not say that we have one monolithic culinary habit. And to be adhyatmika, that is to be a very spiritual person, does not mean that you have to reduce the intake of one kind of food, or not, uh, I mean, over indulge in one kind of a food. So what we should understand according to Ayurveda and Siddha is that based on the need of the person or the need of the body and the health condition of the body, we have to consume certain substances. If you go to so many Ayurvedic recipe books, nutritional recipe books, you will come across so many different varieties of meat, different birds, animals, all of these are mentioned. And consuming them, of course, as medicine is important for them for reviving their health. And if you look at the general habit also of Kshatriyas, they did not consume meat on a daily basis. In the past, meat consumption was an occasional venture. So, for example, they would consume once a week or twice a week, and they did not have a feast every day. These days, you will notice how, because of the influence of habits from Anglo-America, we see so much
Biryani
of
culture.
intake of calories. So many different consumeristic varieties are available. So much of fast food. We eat so much these days because of the influence of these capitalistic companies. We think that eating more is good. In fact, in the past, there used to be a time when they used to fast regularly. They had langhanam, we call it langhanam, and it is called paramaushadham. So, whenever we had an issue with our health, we would directly have this langhanam. There will be fasting. And there was also this habit of doing upavasa for the sake of Ekadashi. They had vratams. So, if you look at the Dharma Shastra literary corpus, you come across so many different methods for this langhanam. So they would do so many different kinds of upavasa, so many vratas. So there is something known as payo vrata. There is something known as I mean, different kinds of vratas. I don't want to go into the details. A lot of nutritional recommendations were given in order to purge the body and the mind of several negative things. But that doesn't mean that the person has to pursue that throughout their lives. Only a certain duration of time in their life, they're expected to pursue such habits, such dietary recommendations. The rest of the time, they would have a discipline. They would eat only on certain days. They would not eat meat on certain days. They would, so for example, if you go to the commentary of Vyasa in for the Yoga Sutras of Maharishi Patanjali and also Raja Bhoja for Yoga Sutras Patanjali, you would notice there is an interesting statement being made there when it comes to ahimsa. So when they talk about ahimsa, absolute ahimsa is not possible for everyone. They also acknowledge it. And they're saying that ahimsa can be practiced in various stages. So for some person, say for example, there is a fisherman, he might say that I will not go for fishing during these few days of the month. So that is ahimsa temporally. And then he might say, I will not go for fishing at this temple pond. So geographical, that is spatial ahimsa. So he might say that I will not go fishing at such and such a specific period of time, such and such a space, and I will offer the benefits to something else. So something like that. So they make certain changes. So step by step, they start changing. So lower levels of ahimsa, they move towards higher level of ahimsa. So absolute ahimsa was never recommended for anyone. Even for us to survive, when we breathe, our immune system will destroy microbes, any pathogens that have been inhaled in the air. So we should be clear about the fact that absolute vegetarianism, absolute non-vegetarianism, this was never part of the Bharatiya way. We have always been looking at whatever is sustainable, whatever is applicable to us at that point of time, whatever can be done properly, practiced for a long term, for a sustainable life. This was always the perspective that we have always had.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point actually, because we are about moderation and also a step-by-step progression. I think that's encoded in a lot of things that we do or that we are supposed to do. So that's a good reminder. We've spoken a lot about kshaatra, exercises, diet, everything. Now, what you're doing is applicable to different sets of people. For example, take dancers. I know you have had a workshop specifically for dancers. So is that something that you're looking to do in the future? To, if a group of people approach you, would you be able to conduct a workshop for them specifically after understanding what they need? Is that something
Yes,
you're
we
going to?
we did it in a much more researched manner where we took surveys from 30 dancers, Chennai and Bangalore. We understood their pain points, and our testimonials are really good. I would love to share it with you guys. You can watch it in our Instagram page also. So the best thing I heard was a lot of dancers, they said they did not feel soreness while they were dancing. So that is the
Okay.
best compliment. And it worked really well. And we are open to do it anytime. If we get a bunch of dancers, we are trying to get few more opportunities in Chennai and Bangalore. We have not advertised on that yet, so we are trying to start it after 2 weeks or so. But this is during the festival times, no? So everyone will be busy with their shows now. A lot of dances. So we are trying to do it after this Puja holidays.
Okay.
Yes, the results are really good. Research-based work. So testimonials are also good. We are pumped. I'm actually happy that it worked really well. And one more thing that makes this special is I come from a traditional background. So they are also from a traditional art background. So it was really good. So the communication itself was because the culture standpoint, we both are same, no?
Yeah.
That is also holistic art.
Becomes
What I come from is
yeah,
also a holistic background.
becomes easier to
Yeah.
communicate, no, between the two
Yes.
domains, basically disciplines. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
We
we are
love for
anyway
our
interwoven culturally. That's what is the common strand. Nothing is in isolation. Everything is interconnected. No, so it's easy to make the
Yes,
connections.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
we'd
yeah,
love for
definitely.
people to follow your Instagram page, and we'll put the links out to some articles that talk about the ancient Hindu fitness, and also Krishna and
You,
Abhinav's Instagram page, so that our listeners can find out for themselves.
I would like to tell one more thing when it is coming to kids training. So first thing what we can do is do not overstuff children with things that you think are nutritious. Children's body are very close to nature. So when they like eating, they like eating. When they say they don't need food, we have to respect it. A lot of people do this in a way where they think eating good quality or good quantity makes a lot of difference and people stuff, and this is causing obesity. India is now peaking in obesity, so we should stop doing this and start listening to children. And their digestion process is natural. Once in 6 months you need to give them this deworming tablets. Kindly consult a physician. And when it is coming to training, let them move. A lot
Sorry.
of cases that have speech delay, a lot of cases that have stimulated, like stopped, these comes from the background of screening time. My wife is working with a pediatric clinic, so I have seen how these children react and all that. So for them, I used to do yoga sessions with them. So I trained in international certification of yoga also. So once what I learned was cutting screen time definitely improved my daughter's speech. My second daughter had this problem. I took time to speak. Once we did that, and human conversations is really, really important. So make sure that we need to introduce them to the right set of people who talk the right thing to our children. So this is what I learned from being a parent. I just thought sharing this experience can help people.
So I think we have
Hello?
covered a lot of ground, and we've had a very enriching conversation on a subject that's sort of new for us in a way. Uh, so I think our listeners will find this a podcast that's a little different from what we have done in general, and I hope they enjoy it as much as we have enjoyed putting it together. So thank you, Abhinav, and thank you, Krishna, for coming on our podcast and sharing all your valuable insights.
Thank
And
you.
and to our listeners, we will be putting all the details of Temple of Strength initiative on our Substack platform. So please subscribe to us at hinduparenting.substack.com, and also please follow us on all social media. We go by the handle Hindu Parenting on all the major social media platforms. I'm not going to repeat all of them once more, but every social media platform you can find us. Just search for Hindu Parenting and you will find us. We are also there on all podcast platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. So please subscribe, follow, and spread the word. So until the next time, thank you for listening. Namaste.